4 years ago, Lynda Rozell sold her townhouse, bought an Airstream, and began a spiritual journey to shrines and religious sites across the United States. Lynda calls herself the Tin Can Pilgrim. And she is joining us today with her new book, Return to Me, Visits to the Tabernacle. Welcome back, Lynda. So great to see you.
Thank you. It's wonderful to be back.
On your many journeys, where are you today?
Well, today I was going to be in Petoskey, Michigan, but had a slight change of plans, and so I'm boondocking in a field at a winery in Clear Lake, Michigan.
You never know where you're going to be. What I do know is you were at the Eucharistic Congress in Indianapolis, and you just have to share your thoughts, about that event. Wow.
It was otherworldly. It was so beautiful, and honestly, it just so confirmed me in my own ministry and strengthened me to really continue what I'm doing and to go out and, rooted in the love of Jesus in the tabernacle and in the Eucharist, share that love and joy with others in my actions and in my thoughts, because I think it beautifully brought together how we are most effectively active for the Lord when we're contemplatives in the middle of the world, when we worship Him, when we stay connected to Him, when we receive the graces that He is yearning to give us in the Eucharist. Yeah. And just being in that stadium and having 50 to 60,000 people falling to their knees in adoration was amazing.
In all your travels, this has to be right up there, topping the list.
Oh, it's definitely at the top of the list. There's no doubt.
I also saw a beautiful picture. Chairman of the Congress, Bishop Andrew Cousins, he endorsed your book, right? There's the picture right there.
He did, and he is just the kindest, most wonderful bishop. I don't know Bishop Cousins. I wrote this manuscript last year, and I felt like it was really important to get it published by a Catholic publisher because it is a very Catholic book, even though it does have appeal to those who are not Catholic. And I thought, well, I'm just going to be really bold for the Lord, and I'm going to email Bishop Cousins and ask him if he would consider giving me a pre-publication endorsement, which would help me get it published. And he emailed me back right away and said, sure, send me the galleys, and if you don't hear from me in a week or so, get back in touch with me. So I got back in touch with him in a week, and he responded with this beautiful endorsement that is in the book. And he also gave me permission to quote from it and use it in promotion, so I've been doing that as well.
I like your line. You are being bold for the Lord. Perfect.
Yes. and the other amazing thing that happened is George Weigel wrote the foreword to the book. So I just felt blessed all around in this endeavor, because this is really about bringing people to Jesus and helping people to engage in that relationship with Him and to deepen their relationship with Him through prayer.
Prayer with the tabernacle art, as you say,
yes.
Sparking conversations with God. This is a pretty unique book. We all see our tabernacles at church, but maybe after people hear about this, they'll be looking at that tabernacle in a new way. Tell me about how important it is for you to pray in front of the tabernacle.
It's absolutely key. And of course, Jesus is everywhere. And I pray in my little Airstream van, which is where I am right now. You can see the entire thing basically behind me. And but I go to daily Mass when I can to receive the Eucharist and all the graces that come with it. And if there isn't a daily Mass, I will stop and pray in front of the tabernacle. And even after Mass, I'll go and pray in front of the tabernacle. So I've been doing that all the time I've been on the road. I'm actually going on my 7th year of being on the road now. And so I had all these beautiful photographs of tabernacles because I am very distractible, and my attention wanders when I try to just sit and meditate and focus on the Lord. So I found that being a very visual person, if I gazed at the tabernacle and just sort of relaxed into the feeling that He is gazing back at me, then I I could look at the symbols of the tabernacle art and start to meditate on their meaning if I felt my attention wandering.
Because all the tabernacles are different, but
Yes.
but they are the same at the same time, with Jesus inside. But when you look at it and look at that art, I want to talk about some of the tabernacles that really, there's so many. Obviously, you have seen in your travels. There's some that just stand out and give us an idea of what it is that you're looking at with the art.
Well, art is a very subjective thing. And so, personally, my preference is representational art. And you're now showing a picture of one of my favorite tabernacles. This is a beautiful tabernacle at the chapel in Arnold Hall Conference Center, which is a retreat center in Pembroke, Massachusetts. And it depicts Jesus as a toddler in between Mary and Joseph. They're holding his hands. And this tabernacle I love because it emphasizes the humanity of Jesus. As a mom, I look at this and I think, I bet Jesus said, swing me to Mary and Joseph, because he's just in that posture. And, when you pick up your child and swing them between the two parents. And I just thought, what a beautiful reminder of how fully he entered into all of our humanity and all aspects of it, and including play. So that's one that really touched my heart.
And I don't know if we have it. Our Lady of Good Counsel in Plymouth, Michigan also. Is this it?
Yes, that is another one I love. This beautiful tabernacle in Michigan, it depicts the Annunciation on the front, but the entire tabernacle is modeled in correct proportions to the Ark of the Tabernacle in the Old Testament. And of course, that immediately springs into reflection on how Mary is the new Ark of the Covenant. And there's the angel, and there's her yes right there. So Mary bore Jesus within her, just as the old Ark of the Tabernacle bore the manna and the presence of the Lord. And I just love that particular one. The chapel itself is really nice too, because on the wall behind it, it says in Hebrew on the one side, "Where is the sacrifice?" which are the words that when Abraham was going to sacrifice his son in obedience to God's will, that his son said to Abraham. And on the other side are the words of John the Baptist, "Behold the Lamb of God."
I love this. I love that the book really will inspire everyone now to, as you say, go read your own tabernacle, see what's there. And I know in addition to this, you also have a coloring book for kids too, right? We'll just mention that very quickly.
I do. When my kids were little, if I took them to adoration, I had to have something to occupy them, because as limited as my attention span is, theirs was less. So I decided to take symbols of tabernacle art from the book and make drawings that could be colored in. And this way too, parents or grandparents who are bringing their children for a quick visit with Jesus, because he's always waiting for us and you could stop in at any time, their kids can color, and then you can have a conversation about the meaning of the dove, or the meaning of the Alpha and Omega, and any other symbols. And this kind of learning about our heritage and history as Catholics and the meaning of these symbols, or as Christians even, it really does deepen your prayer life, because as much as the focus on my book is on the tabernacle and it's on Jesus, it's not the box, it's a person in the box
Right.
that we're going there to see. But this is just a technique of in our very visual society where everyone's glued to their cell phones, of taking that visual connection and turning it to good use by focusing it on the Lord.
Lynda, I want to send everybody to your website to find out more about the book and the coloring book and your travels, what you're doing. Like I said, you're always on the road. We appreciate you so much joining us today from your Airstream, from your home on the road. Where can everybody find out more information?
Well, they can find links on my website, tincanpilgrim.com, and that will take them to the publisher's website, which they can also go to directly. And that has a lot of the reviews and testimonials. And that's where you can do bulk purchases too. If a parish wants to use this for a book club or, some other purpose. We had one parish interested in giving it away to their parishioners. Yeah. It's En Route Books and Media is the publisher's website. And both the coloring book and the Return to Me book about tabernacle art are published by En Route Books and Media and on their website. You can also find them on Amazon.
Okay. Lynda, as always, thank you for joining us, and safe travels.
Thank you so much, and God bless you.